Hello and welcome to today's video. It's coming to you from the town of G.U.R.U in the Waikato district of New Zealand. Behind me is the Waikato River, known colloquially as the Mighty Waikato. So it's a large river for New Zealand, and obviously that power of the word mighty associated with it. So I'm in a very strong place at the moment, or very energetic place from my perspective. And also of significance, the Ngaruawahia township is the seat of the Kingitanga movement. That is the effectively the royal family of the Maori people of New Zealand, so the indigenous people who predated the Europeans coming to New Zealand. It's their royalty. It's not a political movement as such these days, but it certainly has significance amongst those people. Which ties into today's subject. I'm going to be talking to you about the Crown Chakra, and in terms of that I'm going to be talking about how that has impacted my journey and what I've discovered along the way, or uncovered along the way, and how it's opened up the universe to me. Just before going into that subject though, just as you can see, I'm wearing a fairly light outfit today. I've got a white shirt on to represent the white light again. I'm wearing two buffs today. One is my purple coloured, so that's the higher realms, so the purple or the violet of the Crown Chakra. I've got my rainbow coloured chakra, or my rainbow coloured buff I should say, on, which represents all of the chakras. And I've got my obviously my pendant on, and that's got the violet in there of the Crown Chakra. And I'm wearing violet coloured pants, so I'm very much surrounded by matters to do with the higher realms. And of course, on top of my head I have my white fedora, and that is again significant of the white light, so that's where the white light flows into me from above. So yeah, feeling very very powerful today in terms of this video and the energy that I'm going to project. Before I speak about that subject matter of how the Crown Chakra has opened up for me and how it's manifested in my life, I just wanted to revisit a couple of things or thoughts that came to mind. One actually relates to my cat Lily, who I introduced way back in a video earlier on, a few weeks ago. And she travels with me full time around New Zealand in my motorhome. And cats are known for their sensitivity to energy. There's suggested that they absorb the bad energy around one and react positively to positive energy. Lily's 15 years old and she's travelled with me for over 4 years, so getting on for 4.5 years. Notably last year when I visited Peru and I returned in a very high energy state, as I've outlined many times in my prior videos, and of course talking about my writings, it's also in there. She had stayed in a cattery for the 4-week period I was away, and she had stayed in catteries before, but on this occasion when I returned she seemed to be much more wanting to hang around me, so she just couldn't let me out of her sight. And how that kind of manifested was very early on me getting back, and when I was driving she would jump on my lap when I was driving, and of course that was she'd never done that before, and I'd stop and take her off, and then she'd come back and jump up again, and it was slightly annoying, I mean, but no problem. And in the end I gave up taking her off, because she just wanted to always sit on my lap, and some of these drives are fairly long, and not always a place to pull over just to take your cat off. So now she just always, when I get on the road, it doesn't take her long to sit on my lap. And what I've personally tied that into and interpreted that as, that she is wanting to be around my high vibrational energy. I have no doubt that that's actually what she's doing in that case. So there's another example of this energy that I talk about and how it might manifest. And I also just wanted to talk briefly about something that came to mind the other day. I spoke about going to a spiritual retreat in New Zealand in 2017 and walking the labyrinth with others. Just an amazing spiritual experience that. And one of the things that really just sprung to mind was that during that walk, and I looked up to the clouds, and I saw myself in the clouds. I document this in my writings, and what I saw was myself as an older person. So we're going back 9 years now, and I got a message, and what the message said to me from above, from that older version of me looking down, was you are doing well, you will be enlightened, you are finding yourself. And here I am today, and that prophecy, and I believe it was a prophecy, or I believe it was some insight that is available to everybody, has come true. Right, I'll move on to today's subject, which is the Crown Chakra, which, so there's 7, I guess, bodily chakras that we talk about, and this is the highest of them, so it's the top of the head, of course, the crown. And of course, the royalty aspect in terms of crowns, really, if we go back into ancient history, so to speak, they're not just there to look pretty, they're there as a symbol of the insight, or the fact that the crown chakra is there, and it's where the power and the energy comes from. So you look at royalty, you think of power and energy, or perhaps enlightened beings. That's obviously open to discussion, but I'm starting to talk about things that are well documented and can be easily researched from everybody's perspective in terms of what the crown really means. So I won't go into the technicalities, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to share my story. And perhaps I'll just start with the place where I think that my crown chakra activated and opened pretty much completely. So I'm talking about completely for now. When we're talking chakras and things such as that, there are chakras that exist above one's being, and I'm yet to tune into those. I mean, I've tuned into them sort of fleetingly, I guess, but there's a lot more on that multi-dimensional universal scale for me to experience, and hence I'm still a seeker of the knowledge. So Peru, last year, July, my first ayahuasca experience. So I had had some insights into the universe prior to that, and in a way they were a little bit fleeting, although they'd started to become much more regular. And I finished my first ayahuasca ceremony where I had seen everything. I'd seen everything that the universe had deemed necessary for me to see at that time. Just some most wondrous visuals, insights as well. We're talking inside my head, answering of questions. I'd seen everything, and at the end of that ceremony, as I had outlined previously, when the last song was being sung by one of the shamans, and it was the last line of the last song, not in the English language, and I looked up to the roof, and in my vision the roof opened and the universe exposed itself to me. So at the end of that ceremony I went back to bed, and took a little while just to settle down, and again there was a number of things happening after I'd left the ceremony. And one of the most significant things that I recall in relation to this conversation about the crown chakra is that I started to get a vision between my eyes, so in the forehead between my eyes, of a very violet light. So violet being the colour associated with the crown chakra. Now prior to that I had had many visions, so to speak, or many times where I have seen my third eye activated, but that of course is the indigo colour, so more of a bluey purpley colour, and that had been with me for a long time, but on this occasion it was a violet light. And I, on reflection, associate that with the crown chakra, and what I saw in the middle of that violet light was a design or a pattern, and the pattern was a flower, so a black outline of a flower. So I tie in my, I guess I'll call it final for now, opening of the crown chakra happened at that stage, and I became noticeably in tune with the universe. Now, prior to that, going back again to the 2017 spiritual one-week retreat that I went on, my crown chakra had opened at that retreat as well, but what had happened was I had felt the energy flowing through my body from above, down through all the chakras, circulating around my heart, down to the root chakra, back up through the body, so I felt this flow of energy. But subsequent to that, and for quite a while after, I just went back into my normal routine. So it became a bit of a memory, and all of the distractions of life took over, so to speak, work, just day-to-day life, and I kind of forgot about it. Not forgot about it in terms of it being a memory, but forgot about it in terms of it being part of my being. So the universe opened up to me completely to 2025, and I was thinking just a little bit before about this whole universal aspect that I talk about, and ongoingly I talk about how being in tune with the universe, or acting from a place of higher consciousness, that's where everything is exposed. It's above. And it's not to sound conceited about that. I mean, people could think, well, that's quite conceited to say, well, you're open to the universe and you can see things clearer. Dating back some time in my life, so we're going back 20 years, I came up with a bit of a theory on how to handle problems. And my theory was, if a problem was in front of you, filling up your day, filling up your vision, and all-encompassing, was to effectively place yourself on top of Mount Everest and look down on this problem. And if you were looking at it from Mount Everest, what would it look like? It would look like a very small, you could see all around it, you could see where you came from to get to that spot, you could see around it so it wasn't right in front of your face, and you could see the future. And so I had this theory of, I called it the Himalayan principle, where you could go very high, look down at your problems, and everything would be put in perspective. But of course, when I came up with that theory, it was tied to the earth, Mount Everest. Now, my expansionary view of life is to take that right out into the universe. And out in the universe is all possibilities. So if we're talking problems, all solutions are out in the universe. And the universe will give you what you need. Doesn't always give you what you want, but it will give you what you need. So again, when I talk universal, it's this opening up of the crown chakra, which allows you to be open to the universe, which allows you to be open to all infinite possibilities. And if that does exist, then life becomes a lot easier. My life is very easy at the moment. That's not to say I do not have day-to-day things to deal with, but I just deal with them. There is no problems, there is no conflict. I have freedom, I have peace. And as I've discussed previously, all of those things have come about through a journey. So if I can inspire people to get on a journey, I hope that they can perhaps believe that when people talk of higher consciousness, and I'm not the first person who's ever talked of this, it exists. The ability to act from higher consciousness exists. Right, that was me trying to perhaps just give you a very brief overview of the crown chakra and the power that it can bring if you can open up to that. I invite you to, if you are called to, perhaps look at my other videos that are on Instagram. I've actually made them as public as possible now, so they can be shared. So if there's somebody out there that you think might benefit from listening to anything that I say, it would be great if you could share it with them, because this is the purpose. The purpose is to bring some light to the world. And I'll also indicate, of course, I've got my writings on my webpage, which is viviendolamahia.nz.com. A very extensive life story there, with kind of filled with magic, I call it, real magic. So that's there for reading, and 2 short stories as well, or 2 short writings. And I just wanted to leave you today with a thought that came to me, or a quote that came to me, well, it was about 9 years ago, and I'll read it out. And it reads, "May the light of the sun illuminate my heart, so that my heart may illuminate the world. So it's from the heart, this energy that is coming to you is from my heart, and it is energy that is coming to you through this video, coming to you through my words, and I invite you to take that energy or receive that energy and take it to your corner of the world, and perhaps illuminate your corner of the world and others who may benefit from it. Right, I'll leave it today, so I'll say thank you very much for joining me again. I wish you well for the rest of your day. As always, enjoy the journey. We will meet when we should, and namaste.